Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. Today's video I think is going to be a really helpful one. Whenever I feel like I want to ramble or talk quite a lot, I always come up to the spare room, sit on the bed. I'm just comfy, like I'm sat here, my legs are crossed and I'm just really comfortable. Amigo's down there, you'll probably see him. So basically today's video is going to be some top tips that I do to help me meal plan. I have basically kind of like a routine that I do when I meal plan, and I've touched on this before on my Instagram, but I have to plan, otherwise I feel overwhelmed. And I feel like if you spend the time planning, you've kind of already invested in that week ahead which you're planning for being a great week. You've kind of planted the seed in your head, you've taken the time to plan, so why would you not follow that plan to enable you to have a great week? You've put all the effort and all of the time in to plan it, you've got it all in front of you in black and white or in pink and purple or blue, whatever colour it is you want to do, and you might as well use it. You've basically invested a little bit of your time to plan the week, so it's there for you to use. Now I'm a person that might wake up on a, I don't know, on a Tuesday, and for example on my plan it might say bran flakes, chicken Caesar salad and ham, egg and chips, and I might not fancy that, but I'll just switch that day out for another day. I'll touch on that when we get into the finer details, but if you're interested in watching, you want to know how I meal plan, then please just carry on watching. The first thing I do, well, you should do, is just make sure you've got something that you can write with. So whether that is, I don't know, there's so many options here. I'm obviously going to be showing you some princess planning stuff because that is what I use, but if you've got like meal planners, if you've got note and paper and you prefer to do it on that, just make sure you've got something rather than trying to remember it all up in here. Sometimes when we write it down and we see it in black and white, we're more encouraged to follow it, and I don't know if there's like a psychological reason why writing down is beneficial over trying to remember it in your brain. I'm sure there is, but yeah, just make sure you've got something that you can write down, something that you're going to be using as the guide, and it just saves your little brain from remembering everything. So that's tip number one. Tip number two, now this one is massive and I feel like it's a given. It's like, yeah, well of course you're going to do that, but probably like 6 times out of 10 we don't, and we just head to the shops without checking what we've already got in the fridge, freezer, cupboard. So for me, I always kind of know what I've got in the cupboard because I always have it. You got your beans, you've got your kidney beans, you've got your chopped tomatoes, you've got your Worcestershire sauce, you've got your seasonings, you know, like things like baked beans, spaghetti hoops, potatoes, fry light, you know, things that you kind of just will remember to replenish, or you end up buying like 5 of them because you use them all the time. You've always got one in the cupboard. So I don't necessarily need to look through that department as much of in detail as I look in my fridge, because when I pick my recipes, if for example on the recipe it's like 2 cans of chickpeas, I'll be like, I know I've got one, but I'll check to see if I've got another. But for me, I have to go through my fridge first, and what you're going to do is you're going to basically date, so check the dates on everything, and you're going to write a list. And say for example you've got chicken in there and it's running out on said date, write that down on a piece of paper. You've got mince in there and it's running out on said date. Basically you're writing down all the things that you think you're going to use that week, or you need to use that week or within the next couple of days, and then that way you've got a, I guess, current shopping list of things that you've already got. And from that point, so that's step 2, so once you've written down everything and you've written down all of the dates, the next point, so step 3 or tip 3, I don't know what you want to call it, scheduling. So it's very easy and I guess exciting, because sometimes when you've never like meal planned before, or I don't know, you're starting off with Slimmer World, meal planning can be a little bit exciting. It's a little bit like, oh, I'm creating a plan, I'm going to follow it, and it is, I don't know if anyone can relate, but sometimes you get that buzz, that exciting buzz, and we can sometimes forget about actual real life and actual scheduling of our lives, and whether you've got children who are here, there and everywhere, whether you've got a partner who's here, there and everywhere, whether yourself, you're not home all the time. It's really important before doing your meal plan that you are identifying who's in the house, how many people are feeding, how many people are going to be sat around your dinner table that evening, Or alternatively, it's important to know, is it going to be a day where you've had like a really long shift at work, or you've been running the kids from here, there and everywhere, and you just want a really simple, oven tea, you need to write those down on what day before you start meal planning, so that you're knowing on Wednesday is going to be a shove in the oven kind of dinner, or on Tuesday I'm not here, hubby's here, wife's here, you know, partner's here, or on Thursday the kids are out, so should we have something special that the kids won't like? So once you've written your list of everything you've got in the fridge, freezer, cupboards, depending on what you want to do, you're then going to write your schedule. So I would recommend some of these. So this is one of the Princess Planning A4 weekly meal planning pads, and then it's got a tear off shopping list as well. These are just great because you've got Monday through to Sunday, and then you can write down your breakfast, your lunch and your dinner. And on here you could even like do it as like a key, like for example, all of us in, you could put at the top. Before you like sorting any of your meals out, you want to pop on here the schedule, who's in, whether it needs to be a quick dinner, whether you've got a little bit more time, etc, etc. So yeah, they're fab. I'll leave all of these products that I've mentioned below. So this is like an orange themed one, there's also like a pink themed one, there's so many different ones on there. There's magnetic ones, so this one is A4 fully magnetic, and then on this one got the food which you plan on the right hand side here. The left hand side of it you've got the shopping list, all categorized into different section of your food shop, and then down the middle there is also a perforated line, so once you've written your food plan you can tear off your shopping list and away to the shop. So that's another one. There's also this one which I've actually felt, well, I've used so many times. This one basically has a bit of everything, so you've got your meal planning, loads of different things at the end as well to do with like self-care, habit, things like that, and this is actually one of the wool ones. So yeah, there's loads and loads of different ways you can meal plan. You can use so many different products. Also use these to know who's where, who's going to be in and how much time you've got. So yeah, that's my tip number, I think it was 3 or was it 4, I don't know. So once you've done that, all of those steps, so you've identified who's going to be in, you've identified what food you're already having, and you've kind of got that plan, all of the like basic information which is important to identify, because without that information you could be doing a meal plan that's actually not achievable or not needed or not easy to follow, and then you just won't even use it, and then you'll be discouraged from meal planning again. So those points are really important. And then the next point is get all of your favorite recipe books out. I'm going to show you in a minute on my kitchen table some of the ones that I recommend. You've got the Slimming Foodie ones, so this is one of our older books, and then this one is one of the new ones, the Slimming Foodie in Minutes, and highly recommend Pip's books, absolutely phenomenal. They're all under 600 calories and really easy to work out the sins, so yeah, highly recommend those. I touched on that one briefly, really recommend that one by Christina. Then you've got Siobhan's Slim and Eats. I've spoken about these for years now. This is the Slim and Eats original one, and then you've also got the Made Simple ones, again similar to Pip's, all under 500 calories and really easy to work out the sins. This one I highly recommend, the Board of Lunch Healthy Slow Cooker book. If you love cooking in a slow cooker, then this one is definitely for you, by Nathan. And then some of my Slim and Rolled ones, and I've probably literally got all of them, but I just picked out a few of my faves. I don't know if a lot of these exist anymore because I've had them for years, but hopefully they do. You've got the Fast Feasts one, so basically meals ready in 30 minutes. Pasta is just a love of mine, so anything pasta and noodles, love that one. This one's really old, it's the Best Love Extra Easies. I think that was a hand-me-down from my auntie actually. Then I've got 2 of these, didn't realise, so I want to give one away to you. So if you want to win one of these, I'll get Bear to pick a random winner. Basically it's a book all with SP meals in it, so there's more than 60 amazing extra easy SP meals. If you don't know what SP is, there are some videos on my page, but I'm doing an updated one this week actually, so hopefully you'll see that very soon. But if you just comment your favourite SP vegetable or fruit down below in the comments, and then I'll pick a random winner and get your address and I can send that out to you. And then these 2 are great. You've got the One for All and the Free Food on the Go. So yeah, grab all of your favourite recipe books out and get some inspiration from them. So basically before you start your meal planning, you might rummage through these. So say for example this one is the Slimming World Fast Feasts, and you might have a little flick through these and something might pop up and you think, oh, this sounds nice. For example, this is the mild chicken and vegetable curry. You like the sound of that, then what I would do is I would refer back to that list that I've already written of the foods that I've got in the house and see, right, okay, I'd look at the ingredients on the recipe and I'd say, right, so I've got chicken breast which I need to use. So I would then tick that. So I'd tick that from the list that I've already written. I think, right, I could do that. Ginger, and I basically go through every single ingredient in the book to see if I've got it or if I will need to get something from it. And this can take a little bit of time, especially if you're wanting to use up bits you've got. You might look in here and find that you have a couple of items already, but you might feel like you might have to go out and buy loads of other things specifically for this recipe. I would say before you commit to having this recipe in the week, look through other recipe books just to see whether you can make a meal out of what you've already got. Otherwise you just find yourself going out and buying specific things that you're only ever going to need for this one recipe, when really if you spend the time looking through the recipes you might actually have all of the ingredients already for one of the recipes in here, if that makes sense. So what you're going to do is you're going to have a shopping list. I'll show you these ones which are really nice. This is the one that I use. This is an A5 colourful shopping list by Princess Planning. Again, it's sectioned off all into the different section of your food shop. So I would have, for example, on just like a normal sheet of paper, so I might write it on like one of my notepads. So I might write chicken needs to be eaten in 2 days, or the date, for example 6th of May. Then I might write like 5% mince, some quark that needs to be used, bacon, sausages, things that you might have in the fridge already. I'm going to write that down on my current shopping list, so stuff I've already got. I guess like a stock list. Let's call it a stock list and a shopping list, otherwise it's going to get a bit confusing. So yeah, I'm going to write everything on my stock list that I've got with the dates. I'm going to write new things that I need to get to make said recipe on my shopping pad. These are tear off, so once you've written all of your shopping on there, you just tear it off, take it to the shop with you and tick as you go along. And then that way you're not buying anything that you don't need, because you've literally written it down, every single item you need to make the meals that you've planned. You just avoid overspending, you avoid getting like food, for example meat, and then it going off because you haven't used it in time. So that's why it's really important to do your stock list first, so that you're not double buying chicken when you've actually got chicken already. And then of course, simple, it's really simple all of this, but I feel like maybe touching upon these points might help you, might give you a little bit of a different insight into meal planning. Once you've found your recipes, oh my god, I absolutely love this book, by the way. It's a very Hungry Greek book. Highly recommend it. Any book or anything I've mentioned, I'll try and leave it down below. But you've basically, I don't know, bookmark, or you're on your kitchen table and you've put out all of your recipes that you think you want to add into your meal plans. You've got them all laid out in front of you. Then you're going to get whichever meal planner it is you use. I also like to use the one in my actual diary, because you get these at the start of each week. This is just one that I did the other day. I'll just show you. I actually haven't obviously done mine yet for this week, so I wanted us to do it together. Follow me on Instagram, you would see that I fill in my food diaries every single day. And at the start of each week in my food diary, so my food diary here is 12 weeks long, but at the start of each week I get this page where I can plan my meals, and I like to have it in here, and I also like to have it on my fridge so that I can see this every single night, every single morning when I open it. But then my family, well, Bear or friends, whoever's coming over, can also see on the fridge what the plan is. So if Bear's cooking, for example, he'll just go on there, he'll go on Thursday, it might say Bear's turn to cook. I've just written my plan. So highlights, just to give you an idea, I've used 2 books primarily for this week. I've used the SP book, and I've also used Pip's book. So what I've done at the bottom here, I've just highlighted them in colour like a key chart, and I've put the page numbers to the recipes that we're going to be having, so it's super easy for me on the night to just get the recipe book out, say me rummaging through the recipes, I know exactly where I am, what I'm doing. Then also the nights that Bear's gonna cook, I've just highlighted that just works for us, and this will go up on the fridge. So I've got the whole week planned out, and like my plans I popped in there. So Friday night I'm not in because I'm out with the girls. Saturday night we'll probably get some sort of takeaway, so at least we know who's around. The days that Bear are cooking are when I'm working late. So yeah, it's just organised, we know exactly what's going on. Then I've just gone through all of the recipes and written down the ingredients that I need. Some of them are just standard, like milk, cheese, popcorn, curly whirlies, but some of them I do need specifically for the recipes. And what I'll do is I will just leave this now up on the fridge until I go shopping, because if there's anything that I forget or run out of in the meantime, I at least can just get my pen and write it on straight away. And yeah, that is basically it. And then once I'm ready to go shopping, there is a line down the middle here. I'll just tear that off and tick as I go along. But if you don't have that magnetic one, you could just simply write your shopping list on here, and then you can plan your meals in your food diary as well. So now I've written out on there, I'm now going to transfer all of that information into I'm going to pop it on here for the week, and then I'll have it in 2 places, easily accessible, and I've got a plan to follow. Yeah, I just like to have mine in my food planner. As you can see here, I've got my breakfast, lunch and dinner all planned out throughout the week. I might mix and match some days, like I said at the start, if I don't fancy it, but at least I've got something to follow. And then basically that is it. You wake up, you look at your food plan, or if you want to prep your lunch the night before the day you're having the lunch, so say I wanted to prep my lunch for tomorrow, I can look on here and I can say, okay, so for lunch tomorrow I put in here a burger and a bowl. Am I working from home or am I in the office that day? Or am I going to have a little bit of time in the morning to prep that lunch, or should I do it now? And you're kind of just identifying any kind of, like, I guess, any time when you're like left a bit like short for time. At least with this plan you can plan it around your time, your work schedule, your partner's work schedule and things like that. So yeah, there's not much else more to it. Just get all your favourite books out, go on Instagram, go on YouTube, Facebook, wherever it is you get your inspiration for your meals. Have it all out in front of you. I really do recommend like a nice pretty meal plan. I know you can do it on paper and I know you can do it on your phone, but there is just something different about writing it all out and making it pretty and having it nice and visually pleasing to the eye. I can't explain what it is, but it just makes such a difference. And like I said and touched upon at the start, if you've taken the time to plan it and you spent the time to do all of these individual steps, then you're more likely to utilise the meal plan and stick to food optimising 100%. If you've got any questions, please do let me know. Everybody's family life's different, everybody's scheduling's different, everybody eats different things, different times, everybody prefers to do things different ways, but meal planning can be a bit overwhelming at times, and sometimes you just don't know where to start. You don't know where to get the inspo from, you don't know whether you're doing it right or wrong. So hopefully this video has given you a few tips and tricks on how to meal plan, how I meal plan. Thank you so much for watching. As always, I hope you're all having a lovely day, whatever day it is, whatever time it is you are watching, and don't forget to keep being you, keep smiling, and I will see you all in my next video.